Skull Sessions, and is in what has now become a recurring theme. Here's a repeat customer of mine, like a repeat guest on the podcast. Not really customer, he's not buying anything, but Emmette Loverde, is that how I say your name? All
Yeah,
right,
that's it.
awesome, man. So he has a new project going on, and we're here to discuss it and convince you why you should give him money.
Yes, we got it's a thriller. It's called Without a Name, and we just did a this past weekend. We were in a film festival in Milwaukee. It was called the Milwaukee Independent Film Awards, and we won Best Horror Film, and we also
Awesome.
won. Yeah, we also won a special award for it's the Independent Spirit Award for our feature. So some nice pats on the back, and we had a great time.
Okay.
Uh, showed the movie to a great crowd, a lot of enthusiastic responses, and we got another festival coming up on December 7th in Baton Rouge, and that one's called the Listening Room Film Festival. And well, I'm going to be there, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay, for the people who haven't watched the previous broadcast, why don't you tell me a little bit about your backstory and what all you have going on?
I'm a filmmaker, um, writer, actor, sometimes director. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm now in Los Angeles. And I've been making movies. My first feature film I made back in 2000, and I've been making movies ever since. This one, Without a Name, is actually my fifth feature film, and it's I would say it's the biggest one yet, and very excited about it.
Why would you say it's the biggest one yet? Like the highest production values or highest distribution or what?
Yeah, it's
All those?
biggest. Well, hopefully biggest distribution. All biggest cast, most locations, most number of scenes, and it's just those are things that just make a film feel like a lot is happening. Um, and uh, it's a script that I wrote with my partner Larry Maraviglia, who we talked to before, if you remember. And it's uh, it's a new genre for me because most of the films I've made have been comedies. So this one is a thriller. There's a little bit of comedy in it, but this one's it's
Well, some
supposed
of
to
my
scare
favorite
you a little
movies
bit.
have a little bit of comedy, like Evil Dead 2 is awesome, but part of what makes
Exactly.
it awesome is a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he
it's
cuts
and
off his hand and then he puts a bucket over top, puts a book, a farewell to arms over the bucket.
yeah, it's and I mean, I think that the comedy like it doesn't stop it, in its tracks. Like it actually it helps the film. It helps move the film forward, and
Well, it can.
yeah.
We've
So
all seen the ones that actually I think it's more accidental comedy. It's like it's so bad, you're like, dude, that was funny, but it probably wasn't supposed to be funny.
well, hope okay. Eric says he's pulling over now. Just so you know.
This is the long lost producer, which came
Yes.
out of like the woods or the dry park or whatever, and he's gonna appear on the show, right?
Yeah, and actually, Eric is he's in Wisconsin,
Okay.
and that's where we shot the movie. And this is Eric
Any
coming
minute
on in.
now, the
There
mysterious
he is.
Eric will appear. Dun
Hey guys,
dun!
fresh from his front seat.
It's like Sasquatch appearing out of the woods, you know.
I am by some power lines. I'll be looking out for them.
For
Okay, is it
Sasquatch?
raining?
Yeah.
All right, man. So, you all are involved in the same project. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about what you have going on, what the project is, when it's debuting, what they should look forward to?
All right. It's we're gonna debut it on the streaming services and hopefully get some theatrical screenings early next year. We have at least one more festival coming up, December 7th. And Eric, can you tell us about the fabulous festival that we just were in last weekend?
It was great. It was called the Milwaukee Independent Film Awards. It was the inaugural event for that film festival. And the top award for best horror film had Without a Name. And we ended up winning that. And Emmett was able to come out to the bitter cold of the Great White North to come and join us and receive that award, which is amazing. The film itself, Without a Name, I will let Emmett go more into it. But the end of the day, he came out from L.A. with Hayato, our other producer, and we filmed that for 2 weeks straight in Wisconsin.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So, how long has it been out? Like, I knew you just won an award, but how long has it been out?
We haven't. Well, it's not available to the public yet. You got to see it. To see it, you have to go to a festival.
Oh, it's
Um,
just premiered so far at like festivals or it's won
yeah,
awards. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Because festivals, they most of the time festivals don't want a movie if you can just go to your video store or go to, well, no one
Right.
has a video store, right? You know, go to your local theater and watch it. They want,
I'm not real
you know,
familiar with how the whole like
yeah,
indie film process works, and I would guess most of my viewers are not real familiar. So if you could fill us in a little bit, that'd be great.
sure. You make your movie and you submit it to festivals, and when a festival selects your movie, they would like to be the premiere screening, and meaning the first time anyone can ever see it anywhere. And our premiere screening was this past weekend in MIFA. The, is it MIFA? Anyway, the Milwaukee Independent Film Awards. And
Did they open it to
yeah,
submissions? Did people submit stuff, and the ones that they accept are in the festival?
yeah, yeah. They watch the movies.
So
You
they
know, they
probably get a
judge
whole bunch of
judge them.
garbage that are like, yeah, not in the festival.
Well, Eric, can you speak to that? You're
Absolutely. We For our inaugural event, we were just amazed, and we had over 150 submissions. And obviously, not all of them were horror film, but in the horror genre itself, we did have a number of different submissions for that. And the to your point, Dan, you're right. You get some stuff that you're like, oh, you 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 know they put a lot of heart and soul into making it,
Right.
but it's something that the mass public probably doesn't want to watch.
Well, I'm big into seeing, especially in the movies that I hear about, and I remember there's one where it's like a guy and his wife, they like mortgaged the house and everything to like fund the movie, and they made a zombie movie. And like, at the end of the movie, they're all talking about like all the sacrifices they made. I'm like, well, you lost the house because that movie was horrible. I wonder how often that happens. Probably all the time.
yeah. It's in fact there's a famous documentary. If you ever get a chance, it's called American Movie, and it's about a group of guys. I'm not sure what state, but like Minnesota. They um, they basically like they hit up this one guy hit up like his his uncle who's a dentist, you know, and to put a bunch of money into this movie. So they were making a horror movie called Coven about witches, and this
That's never
documentary
been
just,
done before.
yeah,
Go
really.
ahead.
And this documentary just follows the making of this movie like from start to finish, and all the problems and the failures and the mistakes they make. And I don't even know if they finished Coven. Like they, like I think it fell apart before that.
Well, they just
But
blew through everyone's money, and they're like, ah.
yeah, but the documentary about it is it's hilarious, but it's also painful.
Right.
I'm not even sure I could finish it. Actually, I think I stopped because I was just like, this hits too close to home, man.
Right.
I can't deal with this.
So fortunately, it seems like you've been successful. Like you put out like a string of things, and you keep doing it, and like it seems like you're only going up. You just won an award, So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no telling the future. But Eric just went to the American film market in Las Vegas to sell some movies. Can you tell us anything about
Absolutely.
that trip?
And to continue with Emmett's point, you make the movie, you submit it, you try to get eyeballs on it, you get an audience all over the country at different film festivals. Hopefully you win some awards with that as well. And you try to get a following with that. And to try to move it to the next step, you go, if you can, you go to the American film market. That is where independent filmmakers and production companies from all over the world meet to distribute or to try to sell to buyers from all over the world for distribution. And obviously, the way that the the market has changed over the course of even the last 5 years, the streaming on demand, the video on demand, you get paid by advertisements, and you go there, you meet with these different vendors and the different providers, and you try to sell the product. And when you have laurels from other film festivals, that type of thing, that is another check in the box to try to get your product out there for video on demand.
Is it more a kind of thing where you sell the rights completely, or you try and get somebody to help you produce it? Like I'm wondering, like with like Blair Witch, for instance, when Blair Witch came out, I think they sold the rights, and that's why Blair Witch 2 is horrible.
Yeah, they took the Blair Witch Project to Sundance, which, I mean, that's a dream come true. Like that kind of set them on their way. And then I think it was Artisan Films or Artisan Entertainment came in and paid them a bunch of money for their movie, and then Artisan actually put in a lot more money to fix the sound. I don't know if you remember the Blair Witch Project, but
But yeah, I saw it in Angelica, which is I'm in New York, and like the local like indie movie theater is
yeah,
Angelica, and they play all like the lower budget or lower distributed movies. And I remember I saw that, and I knew it was like a film school movie. And I was like, it's amazing. And then I knew all these people were blasting it once it made it on the big screen. They're
mm.
like, oh well, I expected this. I was like, dude, it's a film school movie. For a film school movie, it was amazing. But I don't know if like when it premiered at Angelica, if that was the revised version with the updated audio.
If it was the one in wide release, because Sundance was the premiere, and then Artisan took it and like did their magic, and then they put it in the theaters, and they did that incredible ad campaign, that marketing campaign, which if you were around in
Where
the
everybody thought it was found
1990s,
footage. Yeah.
yeah, everybody thought it was real. Everybody was like, oh, and I was I was with a friend, and it had just opened in Los Angeles, and I was like, hey, do you want to go? Do you want to go maybe see this movie, The Blair Witch Project? It's supposed to be premiering tonight at midnight. And so we drove past the theater, and the line was around the block. And I looked at my buddy. I said, I don't think we're getting in tonight. But that's because people were, they thought it was real, and they thought they they were so curious about what this was. So
And so to your point, Dan, the agreements you enter with all of these distributors and production companies it depends on their model.
Okay.
And some of them will take it as is and put it out there for streaming, so they have their library of content is bigger, and they might put some advertising into it, they might not. Other bigger companies might really like the story, they might like what you've done, you've gotten it 80% there, and they will then enter an agreement with you where they will put some money in on top of what they've done and get a bigger percentage down the road. They might put a bigger name actors for voiceover, that kind of thing, or they might put different visual effects, whether it's CG or practical. They might edit it, and it totally depends on the agreement you're able to sign. But to get to that point, you have to be able to get in front of those people. That's why that getting to AFM to show your wares it's a pretty big step.
Is kind of the dream goal to own the rights? Because I know a lot of people I grew up in the comic book world. I wanted to be a comic artist. I know a bunch of those people, and I know that there were people that blew up big in comic books, like Frank Miller, who did he did the Dark Knight and stuff like that. And they're like, oh well, this is selling really well. Why don't you come screenwrite for Hollywood? So then he wrote RoboCop 2, and obviously he had no rights to that, and they're just like, yeah, you don't know Hollywood, and they rewrote it. And so like if you look at the credits, there are like three authors and stuff, but I know there are a lot of people. He felt like so screwed by that thing. He's like, I'll never work with Hollywood again. And it wasn't until Rodriguez came along and said, I'll make you co-director on Sin City, and then that blew up big. But I know a lot of people, they kind of fucked over the creators. So I'm wondering if the goal is to like keep the project and just help them like make it better and distribute it to a wider market, or if like people like in the old days, they just sell the rights and they have no idea what's going to happen.
it well, I think for a filmmaker, the question is always, what are you offering us? If you're a big distributor or a big movie company, you're gonna come in and say, hey, we love your movie. We know you spent whatever $200,000 on it. We're gonna give you $1 million, and then you walk away, and it's our movie now. And you, the filmmaker, have to say, well, that's a lot of money, and I can make other movies. And they can, they might be able to get my movie up on, into a really big audience. Is it worth it to me to give up that movie?
And you gotta wonder whether they're gonna destroy your name by putting out absolute crap, or whether they're gonna actually, take it seriously.
Yeah, that's a chance you take, but I mean, my attitude is, I want to find out what the offer is, and then I'll make my judgment. Because I've made some deals in the past that haven't been very good, and but there was one in particular. For example, it was a film I made, and I made a deal with the distributor. I'll even name them. It's called Green Apple Entertainment, and basically, they here's what they've done positive was they've gotten the movie out. It's on Tubi, it's on Amazon, it's on a number of well-known platforms so people can watch it. But money is not flowing to me because of the way that they wrote the deal.
Well, they just bought the rights and gave you like a stock settlement straight front.
Nothing up front. No. This is may I swear this was a SHITTY deal. This is,
you can curse here. I don't give a fuck. This is a New York podcast. In New York, we got a lot more going on than curse words.
But the nice thing about that deal was that the movie got out there. It's very easy to find. and I retain all the rights to like sequels and anything like that,
Okay.
remakes, and the rights all revert to me. I think we have 3 years left. So
Okay.
um,
I know, like, I went to art school, and I remember my art teacher was like, "Who do you like?" And I like Frank Frazetta. And he's like, "Well, for every Frank Frazetta, there were like 10 guys that were even better than him. They just never made it." And I remember for Zeta, like he did a little Abner for years, but Al Cap would never put his name on it. So after they had like their disagreement and he broke off, he's like, "I'll easily get a job. I did this for 7 years. Nobody would hire him." And so I remember his first book cover, his friend Roy Crinkle, would always run behind. He's like, "Oh, can my friend present to do it?" So he did it for less than half what Roy would get. They kept the original painting, but that kind of got him in the door. So,
mhm.
like maybe that's kind of the way it is with indie filmmaking. Like you do the project, you hope to get it out there, and like maybe that helps get you in the door.
Yeah, yeah. Although actually, I hope you don't mind. I want to the band Green Day.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember their album Dookie?
Oh yeah, their first major label release.
Right. Well, my cousin Richie drew that cover.
Okay.
And, I mean, Richie's
I
he's a
remember the
wonderful
band very
artist.
well because like I was super super punk rock at the time, and I
Yeah.
remember like I was in DC and like the CBGBs of DC was called the 930 Club. And I remember
Hmm.
being in 930 Club and they had like TV cameras, or TVs everywhere.
Monitors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TV monitors. Yeah, and they played that video and like. I mean, granted, all the punk rockers like, what is this? It's like so poppy and stuff. But I remember that first came out.
Yeah. Well, Richie knew all the members of Green Day. They it was the Bay Area punk scene was very close, and and so they just he told me the story. They just basically like, hey man, can you draw this? We got this new album coming out. Can you do the cover? And he's like, sure. And he did it for an undisclosed amount, and then like went
That's
to
so
work at the
familiar. I've
bakery.
done a bunch of album covers, and maybe I got
Yeah.
paid, maybe I didn't.
Okay. Well, he did get paid. He did get paid, but the thing was that he didn't that I don't know how many times that cover has been reproduced on T-shirts and posters, and
Oh yeah, we get no
you
rights,
know,
right?
yeah, he's not getting rich off it, fortunately. But Richie's band is in the soundtrack to our movie.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
the band's called the Winona Riders, and yeah, and they got two songs in our movie, and their stuff is great. If you ever get a chance to check them out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about your project because we're talking about the whole industry and we're like kind of missing out on what people should actually buy. So why don't you tell me about your movie, what you have going on, why you think it won the award, like what it has to offer that's like totally different from everything else.
Um, it's I would say it's like two movies in one. Um, it's it's a for the father character, because what the movie's about is a man uh, drives with his son to go on. They're on a fishing trip, and then while they're on the trip, the son disappears, and
Okay.
the man has no idea what happened to him, and he comes to find out that his son has joined a cult, and so the man is trying to get into the cult, and basically get his kid out, rescue his kid. So for the father, this is a horror movie. I mean, this is a nightmare what happens. For the son, it's awesome because this cult is great. It's you're first of all, it's all about the youth. It's all about the young people, and there's no real rules. You can do what you want. And you can eat as much as you want. And the only rule is when you hit the age of 40,
Don't go any more than that.
yeah,
Something bad happens.
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll leave it
yeah.
there.
All right.
But kids, but
Yeah, no
kids are like,
spoilers,
well,
but yeah.
but
So it's
kids are
like
like,
kind of a youth cult.
yeah,
Yes.
and the kids are like, well, I'm gonna live forever. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
thinking
I
about
never,
that.
when I was a teenage punk rocker, I never thought I'd make it this long.
Yeah, exactly. So for the kid, I call it a love story because he actually he meets a girl in this cult and he's crazy about her and she seems to like him, so he's having the time of his life, and it's about these two kind of parallel stories, but it's uh I just think it's really fun. I don't know, Eric,
I would agree
was
with you.
there this weekend.
It's a fun movie as well, and I think it's different because almost all horror movies you're dealing with three people, four people maybe, and we had what 20 some actors involved in this, all
Yeah.
most of them under the age of 22. And so this
Yes.
cult, there's a lot of different characters in there. They're running around, they're doing things, so that makes it a little bit different than other
It
movies out
sounds
there
like you
too.
have a little more involved story too. Like a lot of stuff. Like I won't name any names because I don't want to like blow anyone out. But like a lot of movies, it seems like they find one person that's crazy or this killer or this whatever, and then it just the whole thing revolves around him doing all this horrendous stuff. And there's not really even a strong story. It's just like how graphic can we make it so people go ah, you know. So it's great if there's like a good, strong story behind it. I think that makes the best stuff.
Well, and it's not a gore film either. So that's that's the psychological part is still there, and as an audience member watching it, you still get that feeling without being inundated with people cut in half and seeing all the brains hanging out. I mean, it's a little bit different that way.
Yeah,
There's
no,
a
I agree.
little gore for
Yeah,
the
a little
fans.
bit.
I don't know, like if you've seen have you seen the movie Frailty?
Say that again.
Frail,
Frailty.
frailty. No,
Uh,
what's this?
it, it's a great psychological horror story with an awesome twist. So I won't ruin it for you, but like I
Hmm.
heavily recommend it. But it's kind of like that thing. It's like you kind of feel like on the edge of your seat the whole time. And there's horrific stuff that happens. A lot of it off screen, and a lot of it kind of implied and
Right.
reference and stuff. And then at the end of it, you're like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
I will check it out. That sounds good.
Yeah, but I think it was Bill Paxton before he passed away. But it's an awesome movie. It's everyone who's seen it, I've only heard good things from. But yeah, no, it like the ones that have like the great story, like you don't need splatter in your face. And I think
Right.
splatter in your face without a strong story backing up means nothing. Like it loses its impact.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, no, this
Well,
sounds interesting.
if you're seeing the death of someone that you don't care about,
Right.
it's just like,
It means
oh,
nothing.
it's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, look, they did the blood, and they did, like, look, that
I
looks,
mean, there are
but you
also
don't,
like 8 billion people in this world, so
yeah.
it's like you know,
But if you, but if you
yeah,
see
okay,
the death,
it's sad, but I don't really know them.
but if you see the death of a character that you have come to like, and you care about them, then their death feels like it's one of your own family, and
But
that's what I think we tried for in our movie. Um, there
that's
there is
awesome.
some there's some stuff that happens that we think is going to get you in the get you in the gut there.
I think
Um,
one of the things that makes Stephen King so successful is his characters struck you as really, they really exist. Like the conversations seem like they're realistic. So
yeah.
I think that's a big point. Is like, you know, you recognize those people, even if they aren't people you like or they aren't like you. It's like you feel like they're alive.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it's it's like um, if you saw the Mist,
Yeah, awesome.
which is based on a
That
Stephen King
ending is
story.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But part of the reason that ending is devastating is because you care about the people in the car with David.
Yeah,
You
no, that's
care
a very
about,
good point. Yeah.
yeah. And so, you know, can we spoil the ending? It's like a 20-year-old movie. It's
You can spot it.
Older than that, even, right?
basically this man is in the car with 3 other people, and monsters seem to have taken
Four
over the
other
world.
people. 'Cause,
Is it
I think he has like 5 bullets left, and like
okay?
he kills 3 of them. Maybe
Yeah,
it's 4.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
basically, he's in this, and they're stuck in a car, and they think monsters have taken over the earth, and they think they're all going to die horribly. And the guy has one gun and about four bullets left,
It's a
and
revolver.
so
Yeah,
one of the people is his own son,
right.
and he kills the other people in the car with him,
It's like
knowing
an
that,
old couple and his son, I believe.
yeah, yeah, and just knowing this is a mercy thing. And the thing is, we've come to love these characters. We've lived with these people through this whole movie, and then of course the man's about to kill himself,
His
last
impulse
of
left.
all, and then the mist blows away, and the army is there, and everybody is saved. And
You
I
know,
mean, people
like
are
Stephen
angry
King
about that
hates when
ending.
people like
Yeah.
alter his stuff. Like one of my favorite movies ever is The Shining, and
Oh,
he
sure.
hates The Shining because The Shining is not super loyal to his book.
Right.
But with The Mist, like he didn't have the ending. He had like a much softer. They just wandered off in The Mist ending. He saw that
Yeah.
movie. He goes, I wish I thought of that ending.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. And people were angry at that ending. And if you ask them why, it was because I like those people. You took them away from me. Like, kill teenagers that we don't care about. That's fine. We
Get
laugh.
some tissue. Come on, this is horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I mean. That's what you hope to do is create something valuable that the audience is, they feel it when something happens to the characters in your movie.
Yeah,
So hopefully
definitely.
that's what we have.
Oh, definitely. All right, awesome, man. So, how can people see your stuff? How can they get a hold of you? Give you money, support your cause?
Well, you can watch. First of all, you can watch the trailer of our film if you go to um, with without it's hard to do backwards, without a name movie.com. So you type that in, without a name movie.com, and that'll take you right to the trailer of the movie. The December 7th, we're screening in the Listening Room Film Festival in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I can't I don't have final word on some other upcoming festivals, but I think we have a really good chance in getting into a couple more. And you can find me on all the socials. That's me, Emmette Loverde. I don't think
What
there's any other
you're
Emmette
on like
Loverdes.
Facebook and Instagram
Yeah,
and
Facebook.
X, you know.
No, I got off X, but
You got a lot of
I'm
X.
on. Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, and so I'm not hard to track down.
Are you on Twitter, TikTok, or not
I'm on
Twitter,
TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah, definitely on TikTok. So
Do you do the answers?
Right.
no one wants that.
All right, so do you
No
have a
one wants
website
me.
so people can go look at your stuff?
Yeah, my Facebook page is, if you go to emmetteloverde.com. So there, emmetteloverde.com. That'll take you to my Facebook page. That's going to list everything I'm doing. Films I've made in the past, films I'm working on now. Um,
Okay, do you have any Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign or anything like that to help raise funds?
that will be coming soon because
That'll be on your
I got
Facebook
some new things.
page. That'll be on your Facebook page.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, everything
Okay,
I'm doing.
so hopefully it'll be on a screen near you coming soon. Until then, should they just check up on your Facebook to see what you have going on?
Yes, and
Well,
you can you can find the movie. It's on letterboxd.com. We have an IMDb page, so it's not hard to find out more about the film.
Okay, man. Well, yeah, thank you for this interview. Do you have anything else you want to throw out there to the either? Like maybe, hey man, if you like this, you like our stuff, anything like that?
Um, if you are fans of punk rock, we have music in Without a Name by the bands Fang and the Winona Riders and Eric Dinwiddie, who's formerly of the Uptones. If you're a ska fan, the
Yeah,
Uptones
well,
were
of
a
course
great
it
band.
is, but I'm old, so I know a lot of those bands. But all right, man. So
Yes.
thank you
and
very
then,
much.
and
Oh,
I have a number of other things coming up that we're in pre-production now. One of them is called Killer Hippie, and think of the Toxic Avenger. He's a weed-fueled guy that ends up getting killed, and he's trying to take down the evil corp that took out his wife and his kids and his family. And so keep an eye out for that. But Without a Name, we plan on streaming, and you can follow more of my stuff at Madtown Films. It's all one word, Madtown Films.
how do you
Okay,
spell
is that
town?
that's your website? Madtown
Madtown
Films?
Films with an town with an E. Yes, that is our website and on social media, Madtown Films.
Okay, so that's on like Facebook and Instagram
Correct.
and all that sort of
TikTok,
stuff.
Instagram, yes,
On
Facebook,
TikTok, you
yes.
do the S's?
Yeah, I don't do it. My partners do. That's a whole nother story, though.
All right, well, thank you very much. Do you guys have anything else you want to throw out?
No, appreciate your time, Dan. Thanks for having us.